everyone, today I'm here with my February wrap up. I only read 5 books in February, which for me is actually a lot, except I read 11 in January, so somehow 5 is now not a lot of books for me. And to be fair, 2 of the books were less or just above 100 pages, so the first book that I read in February was Rebel of the Sands by Alwyn Hamilton. This is a sort of fantasy / magical realism type novel, but it's not super high fantasy where everything's new and confusing. At least it didn't feel that way to me. It felt quite easy and I kind of got into it. It's set in a fictional world, or I think it is, and there's a rebellion going on and some sort of politics thing that went right over my head. I don't know if they explained it and I just didn't pay attention, or if it isn't properly explained. And our main character, Amani, oh my gosh, yes, Amani, she kind of gets caught up in it all and things happen and it's just a wild ride the entire time. I gave this 4 stars. I'm trying to stop giving books 5 stars unless they're like amazing. The second book I picked up in February is one that I have been told by like a billion people to read because I don't know why I haven't read it yet. And that is City of Glass by Cassandra Clare, which everybody knows is the 3rd book in the Mortal Instruments series. I'm not going to say anything about it just because it is the 3rd book. Spoilers, even though I think everyone's read it except me. Because this was supposed to be the last book, I'm going to read The Infernal Devices next and then continue on with the Mortal Instruments just because that's what Cassandra Clare suggests you read the books like. And who am I to go against what an author says is the best way to read their books. When Everything Feels Like the Movies by Raziel Reed, or Raziel. I was sent this by Little Brown. I didn't ask for it, they just sent me it. Little Brown actually sent me a packet of tissues with this that had the eyelashes on it. Like, they had a sticker with the eyelashes on it that said, "You'll need these," or whatever. It was like, when you read Jude's story, you'll need these. And to be fair, I haven't even opened the packet because I can't remember what happens at the end of this. Hold on, I'm going to recap. Yeah, I can't actually remember what happened at the end of this. They've mentioned a person's name that I don't recognise. But, just... the main character, oh my gosh. I thought Willow Dean in Dumplin' was unlikable. This guy, or girl, I'm not sure if he's trans or if it's what, is awful. They are the worst character I've read. I cannot stand the person. You're meant to feel emotional for the character and I just don't. Now, the character's just got a horrible attitude. I presume he's gay. I don't think it's very well established. His name's Jude, but people call him Judy, and I think he wears makeup and dresses up in girls' clothes and stuff. But he's just horrid. I hated him. I did. It was vulgar. This book was vulgar in the sense that, like, I think the character's meant to be like 15. And, you know, he's got that sort of attitude that 15-year-olds have, like everything's got to have like sexual innuendos or they've got to talk about it. And his best friend Angela uses abortion as like a form of contraception. Like, I think she's had like 3 abortions or something, and it's just kind of distasteful. Now, I'm not prude in any sense, but there was no point to it apart from to add to characterization, but I hate the characters. With Jude, at one point, he said something along the lines of, "I am the male JonBenet Ramsey. I wear a crown and men want to choke me out." Obviously implying, you know, choking him while he's having sex with them. But JonBenet Ramsey was like a 4-year-old, 5-year-old little girl who was, you know, asphyxiated to death, which is what that means, on Christmas Day 1996. Now and she was a beauty pageant, like she won beauty pageants and stuff, which is the Crown reference. And I'm just like, I'm really sorry, but you don't make jokes about a dead little girl over that. It was horrible and it was just so wrong. And I was reading it, it's just like, no. You know, there are so many ways to, no, like, no, you just don't go there. This is a proof, so it might have been improved upon, but I do not recommend that. No. The 4th book that I read in February was the winner of the Costa Children's and the overall Costa Book Prize, which is The Lie Tree by Frances Hardinge. I only gave this 3 stars because it was lacking in a lot of excitement for me. You know, the back talks about how the girl, Faith's dad, died, and there's this tree where you can whisper a lie to it and people believe the lie. The tree will tell you a secret that it'll tell you a bit of truth. And it's just, it sounded so exciting, and it took until like here to actually get exciting and good. It was interesting enough, and because it was historical fiction set in a sort of era that I like the sort of 1800s, there was aspects that were interesting, like the posthumous after death portraits that they do with families and stuff. All that stuff was really exciting, but I just felt that, you know, the whole point of this book was there was a bit of a scandal over Faith's father, and then he dies, but it's like, was he murdered, was it suicide, blah blah blah. And I just felt it was very underplayed. It was like, this is the main event of the book, but then you read the book and it's like, it just didn't feel like that was the point of it. But regardless, it was still enjoyable, but it took me like 2.5 weeks to actually read it, just because I'd pick it up because I wanted to know what was going on, but then I'd just get like 3 chapters of drivel that wasn't really that important. At least didn't feel like it. On the plus side, I didn't figure out what happened, which was great. And then finally, my 5th book of February I gave 4 stars to, and that was Paris for One by Jojo Moyes, which is one of the quick reads that are like 90 pages long. This was a fantastic little novella, what we call it that. The book follows a girl called Nell who plans a trip to Paris with her boyfriend, who then stands her up, and she just goes on this little weekend to Paris herself, meets a French guy, meets an American woman, and then just stuff goes on. And it's amazing how Jojo Moyes manages to fit it all into such a short amount of space without, you know, leaving any details out and stuff. The book would have been ruined if it was any longer, and I gave it 4 stars because it was fantastic. I now really want to read some more Jojo Moyes, and I think if anyone's interested in Jojo Moyes or just getting into adult fiction, to pick this up, or, you know, pick up any of the quick reads. They're only £1, so those were all the books that I read in February. Thank you all for watching. Leave a comment below if you're interested in any of the books that I've read. Give me suggestions for books to read because I don't have enough already, obviously. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye!